Hey, it's John here from Open Mic Night of the Living Dead. And before we get started on this week's episode about supermarket horror, I just wanted to let you know that we mentioned in this episode that next week we will be doing our deep dive on the movie Smile, which we're very excited about. However, we miscalculated our time, and in order to give you the best episode on Smile, we've decided to put that off for 1 week. Next week, we'll be doing an episode on vacation horror, but for now, enjoy this episode about supermarket horror. Take it away, Rachel.
Tonight on Open Mic Night of the Living Dead, we're talking about supermarket horror.
The creature's creeping right behind you. I hope you finally find a little slice of peace and light. 'Cause it comes crashing down tonight. Welcome to the open mic. When we call your name, you'll die. But there's no need to dread. This is the open mic night of the living dead.
For a second, I thought you were going to say supermarket sweep.
Oh, no, not nearly enough detail on that in my brain.
Did you ever watch Supermarket Sweep?
Peripherally, like I never watched a full episode, but it would be on while I was swiping through the channels.
And what the heck's your name?
I'm Rachel.
I'm John. We are married. We did not get married in a supermarket, but I mostly do the grocery shopping.
True.
And I operate sometimes like it's Supermarket Sweep, depending on the schedule.
No wonder you're always so eager to do the shopping.
Yeah, that's how I burn my calories.
That makes sense.
I love a grocery store, and I love a movie set in a grocery store.
Yeah. Say the word one more time.
Grocery store?
Do you say grocery or grocery?
Grocery.
Grocery. Okay.
What do you say?
I say grocery, but sometimes when you say it, it sounds like grocery, like a little bit with like a sh sound. And I was wondering if that was like leftover from your mom has an accent from like all over New England, kind of. She's got some Rhode Island stuff. She also spent some time in Florida. So sometimes she says words and it surprises me. But all right, I'm going to listen real carefully now.
I think I said grocery when I was a kid.
I think sometimes it slips through because I noticed it during the last episode and saved it for this episode. Because I knew we were going to be talking about grocery stores.
Well, I don't know what it is I like so much about grocery stores. Like anytime we go to, like if we go to we went to New Jersey for a wedding last summer. I was really excited to go to the grocery store there, the supermarket there.
Sorry.
And
I didn't mean to make you notice it every time. I'm sorry.
Whenever I moved, like we're not planning to move until we die.
Yep.
Which we probably won't be moving then either. Moving even less. But you know, I like to scope out the grocery stores. If I'm when we went to your sister's place,
yes,
outside of Chicago, I got to go to the grocery store there.
That's right. You went and had a really good time. You were really excited about it. It is kind of cool because it's a place that you know really well. And yet, and the grocery stores you visit in other places, other people know really well, but to you, they seem weird.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's kind of a universal, but also very specific thing.
It's almost like I don't know if it's like a liminal space kind of thing. Like especially one that you don't know very well, but you know exactly what you're going to get and you know exactly what you're looking for and you know it's somewhere.
Yep.
But it's not anywhere near where you're used to it being.
Yeah. So there's a kind of displacement, like you're familiar, but not quite. Kind of like being on hallucinogens or something where you're like in a space that's normal, but like it doesn't seem normal. Like they always have those wavy things on TV or in movies where they're talking about people being on, you know?
I don't. But, so we watched Intruder.
Yeah, which is supermarket horror to the max.
Yeah, the whole thing's there.
It is. And so talking about supermarket horror today seemed like a natural transition. However, when I was doing some research for this, the first thing that pops up when you do supermarket horror is a whole subgenre of video games.
Weird.
Where you are in a spooky overnight supermarket and there's weird things. It does not seem like the kind of games I like to play. It seems like there's some jump scares and stuff like that. So I didn't dive too far down that, but I thought that was interesting.
I'd probably enjoy playing a little bit of supermarket horror games.
I think so. And it kind of gave me the same vibe as like Backrooms games and videos. So I think you're right about the liminality of the space, the in-betweenness of it, and the eerie nature of it, which is evidenced by this group of films that we're going to talk about briefly today.
Yeah, and there's not nearly enough supermarket horror movies for my liking, but
there were not, and trying to find them was difficult because they often get lumped with mall horror, which is a very specific kind of movie as well that we also really love for some of the same reasons. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking specifically about supermarket or grocery store horror movies today. So,
well, in the first one we're going to mention, we're just going to kind of go through these, but
yeah.
One that we watched pretty recently on the last drive-in with Joe, Bob, and Darcy, Messiah of Evil.
Yeah, I loved this movie.
It was released in 1973, 1974, had a bunch of other titles, including Return of the Living Dead and Night of the Damned. But I guess Romero sued over the Living Dead name, which for a good reason, probably.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he won, so we've ended up with Messiah of Evil, which doesn't tell you much about the movie whatsoever.
It doesn't. I saw the name and said, oh, yeah, we did just watch that, but then had to go into the description to remember which movie it was.
But we really liked this movie.
Crazy 1970s vibes, visually really, really interesting, kind of wacky and weird. I really love 70s movies, which I never knew about myself before we started on this journey, but consistently when I look at my ratings for movies, 70s horror is the kind of subgenre that always hits the top, and this one was no exception. I don't know how much we want to say about it because we're going to try to stay spoiler-free, and this one's weird enough that you want to be as spoil-free as possible.
And I guess part of the weirdness is due to the fact that investors pulled out near the end of filming, so they never actually finished filming as they intended. I didn't think it was quite that crazy, but it's definitely an odd one, but it is quite fun.
There's the scene in the grocery store.
Yes, this is not one that's set entirely or based around the supermarket aspect. But there's one specific scene which we probably shouldn't even talk that much about. But it is, the first time I saw this was a couple of years ago. You hadn't seen it until we watched it on the last drive-in. And one of the only images left in my mind was this supermarket scene.
Yeah, pretty iconic.
And basically, there's weird stuff going on in this town, right?
There's a young woman in search of someone in a town.
Her father.
Yes, in search of her father. That's in the opening part. And she's looking for her father in this town, and weird things happen.
And one night, she does a late night grocery run, which I always love. Don't get to do that anymore. I used to do that a lot in college. I would go to Star Market, right near Somerville or something. And it was open 24 hours. So sometimes I'd go at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh, that must have been crazy.
And that reminds me of her adventure. Things were always slightly off at that time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a really cool movie for lots of reasons, but this disturbing-ish, I guess, just very absurd, but also unsettling scene in a supermarket. But yeah, really, I'm happy that we've revisited this movie. This was a really good one.
All right. So the next movie on our list is one that we haven't seen yet.
Right. There's a few of those.
And I think it was on Prime for a while, and I had put it on my queue, but it's not right now because then I was reading about it and I was like, why haven't I watched this? It's in a supermarket.
Yes, exactly. We're talking about Alien Raiders from 2008.
I guess that I don't know much about this movie, but it's often described as the thing in a grocery store. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that seems pretty. Just that description was enough for me to say, huh? And I don't want to look too much into it because I want to kind of experience it. But the thing in a grocery store sounds pretty great.
But it sounds like I saw this on IMDb. I was reading the summary there. Basically sounds like some criminals go into a grocery store to rob it or something. And then there's they think there might be aliens.
Yeah. Interestingly, was only released on video, but it is a favorite, especially for creature effects, which is why I think we should definitely add this to our big wheel.
Well, we will when it's streaming somewhere. It's not right now.
Perfect.
I already looked into it.
I bet.
There's another one that we haven't seen, and it came out in 2012. It's called Bait, and it does sound like there's a 3D version as well. It's an Australian film. I don't watch a ton of Australian horror, but every time we have, I feel like it's been solid.
Yeah, and did you see who it stars?
I did not.
Stars Sharni Vincent, who is our survivalist final girl from You're Next.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so there's a connection to a movie we really love, which we've talked about before. But yeah, sounds like a pretty fun flick for us.
Well, and I thought it was funny. Let me just read you the summary on IMDb, because I have a word to pick apart.
Perfect.
On it.
Okay.
Here's the summary on IMDb. A freak tsunami traps shoppers at a coastal Australian supermarket inside the building, along with 12-foot great white sharks. The word I have question about is the word freak in there.
That's fair.
Isn't every tsunami kind of a freak? There's no oh, here comes our standard tsunami.
Here comes that monthly tsunami.
I guess when it's carrying a bunch of 12-foot sharks, that makes it freakier for sure. But yeah, I've added it to my IMDb watch list. Oh, it looks like it's on Prime right now, too.
Ooh.
I will say I'm slightly less interested in this one than Alien Raiders.
Yes, I think so. But this seems to me like more like Sharknado territory, right? Like a little more goofy, a little bit crazier.
Little more goofy, a little bit crazier.
But I do like Sharni Vincent. She was great in You're Next.
Yeah, and apparently she can swim too. All right. Next one is certainly a movie we might end up doing a deep dive on. The next couple.
I hope so.
Really. This movie should be no stranger to any of our listeners. It's a movie from 2002 called 28 Days Later. Heard of it much?
Maybe. I heard it was boring. I heard it was too boring to finish.
Yeah, according to our 14-year-olds.
Which is really an indictment of modern culture and not her specifically. She's great, but she did think it was boring.
She might have just not have been in the right space for it and didn't give it very long.
And the video quality is very different than what she's used to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different than what most of us are used to. Of course, this was directed by Danny Boyle, screenplay by Alex Garland. I don't think I need to get too into it. Sort of a rage virus. Is it zombies? Yes, it's zombies. I'm saying it. That's my stance. If you don't think it's zombies, explain to me in the comments why you think so. But dude wakes up in the hospital.
Yes.
In London.
Yeah.
And nobody's left, pretty much, after this rage virus.
Yep.
And also the zombies run.
A lot. They're super scary. They're like velociraptors. You just can't stop them.
But there is an awesome scene in this movie after he's come across some of the other heroes, protagonists, survivors in this film. And they happen upon a grocery store to stock up. And it's such a beautiful scene. It's just a scene of joy in a sort of joyless world, right?
Yeah, it's definitely different than the other films on this list where the supermarket, a place of safety becomes this place of danger. It's more of it's a really joyful scene, right?
Probably the most joyful scene in the movie.
Yeah, really interesting. Tapping into the supermarket as like the source of food and sustenance and normalcy in a world gone mad.
And whiskey.
And whiskey. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I love that scene. I love that movie. And the sequels are all pretty good, too.
They sure are, at least in my opinion. You can fight me if you want.
I think a lot of people like them. It's okay.
It's okay. One more, but it is the only one and the very first one that comes to mind, I think, for most people when we talk about supermarket horror, right?
Yeah, Supermarket Sweep, like I said.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it is 2007, directed by Frank Darabont, based on Stephen King's novella. Yes, of course, we are talking about The Mist. The Mist.
Yeah, I loved this novella as a kid. It was one of my favorites, one of the ones that kind of stuck out for me of all of the Stephen King that I read starting in 7th grade. And the movie is devastating.
Still awesome, though.
Still awesome, but tough. We discovered when did the book come out?
Oh, yeah. We were just reading about this. I didn't realize this. The story was originally included in an anthology. Who
Kirby McCauley.
So Kirby McCauley put together this horror novella shorts anthology.
Yeah, like 26 stories. So probably not all novellas.
No.
Maybe a few novellas and some short stories.
Called Dark Forces. And I actually think I have this somewhere.
Time to start digging.
Because I have a Stephen King collection that if we ever do a Stephen King movie, maybe I'll do a video online of some of the books.
Oh, that would be cool.
But yeah, I didn't realize that. That was in 1980 because I know it from Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, me too.
Which was Stephen King's short story anthology book. I think it was published in 1985. And so Frank Darabont directed The Mist, and he was no stranger to Stephen King adaptations. You know, he famously did Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile.
Yes.
And he later went on to be, I think, the original showrunner for The Walking Dead. That is why there's like a bunch of actors from The Walking Dead in this, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, very neat.
Yeah, it says Darabont adapted and executive produced The Walking Dead. And I think he was the original showrunner. And then Greg Nicotero, who we talked about in Intruder, because he was one of the special effects guys, worked on the special effects in The Mist, very different kind of special effects in The Mist compared to Intruder. But again, this movie, although there are a couple of scenes outside of the grocery store, it really is mostly takes place, right, in the grocery store?
Yeah, almost 100%. That's where all the drama happens.
In doing some research here, I read that they had an opening scene that they ended up cutting due to budget reasons, showing like where the mist came from. I'm so glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the terror, is not knowing where it came from or what happened.
And they kind of allude to it and imply what might have happened, but I'm glad that they did not include that. But I always love this movie. I know there's some devastating parts, but maybe it's just the grocery store part of it that I like, but also just the interhuman relationships and sort of how quickly things can change when people are forced to work together sort of in a confined space.
I mean, very post-apocalyptic, right? And I think in a lot of post-apocalyptic media, whether that's TV or film or books too, going into an empty grocery store has this real crazy kind of appeal because we can all imagine it, right? I think what I liked about The Mist as a story when I was reading it as a teenager and then about the film is you can 100% imagine yourself in that situation. What would you do? There's so many movies that, what would you do if you were exploring a cave in the Himalayas? Like, I don't know. That's never going to happen to me. But everybody goes to the grocery store. What do you do if you're stuck there with all the weirdos and the people that you've got beef with? And of course, in King's book and in the movie, it is a small town grocery store. So there's drama already existing. Like, I don't know if you were at our local grocery store and the mist rolled in, would you know anybody in there? And would there be the kind of underlying history? Probably not, but maybe.
I would know Diane at the meat counter. Shout out Diane.
Of course you would. You would, of course.
She'd be slicing up my turkey sandwiches.
But I think that's part of the appeal of grocery store movies in general is, again, here's this very familiar space, familiar, safe, mundane, one of the most, I mean, since none of us, hardly any of us, grow our own food anymore, the grocery store is our local market. And markets have been around for thousands of years, the place where people go to exchange to get, I mean, there's like deep stuff here, man. But I think that's why you like grocery store and mall movies.
It was so cool. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. There was like a weird power outage in our area. I don't know where you were. You were somewhere else. But our now 10-year-old and I went to the grocery store and the power was out at the grocery store. So there were no lights.
That must have been weird.
It was awesome. I filmed some stuff. I don't know if I ever showed you.
I don't remember.
Of our daughter like walking down the aisles in the darkness.
Oh, cool.
And they had moved like a lot of the frozen stuff out of the freezers and everything to keep safe out back or whatever. So it kind of reminded me of all of these movies. The last thing I was going to say about The Mist is that if you have an opportunity to watch the version in black and white, you totally should.
Yeah.
I think it adds a new dimension to the movie, and it also kind of softens some of the effects. Sort of the 2007 CGI effects, I think, look a little bit better in the black and white as well. So
that makes sense.
Definitely worth a watch. Should we give them our demo for the week?
I think we should. And here's the demo for John's song, One More Shot.
Though I might have killed a man, no one can understand that I'm only looking for love. That's all I'm thinking of. I'm only looking for love, and I can't go on. I know I'm in the wrong, 'cause I never treated you right. I just know how to fight. I never treated you right, but I can change my ways. So let's get out of this place, because it's only love I need, and you're the one I want. I'll always have your back. Just gotta give me one more shot. So get in the trunk. I called you on the phone, I wrote you lots of poems, but you never gave me a time. Made me lose my mind. You never gave me a time, but I can change my ways. So let's get out of this place, because it's only love I need. You're the one I want. I'll always have your back. Just gotta give me one more shot. So get in the trunk. Yeah, come on. And when we get to where we're going, it's a mighty fine surprise I'm throwing. I plan to get down on my bended knee, and you can trust me moving forward. It's a lifetime we're moving toward, as soon as you agree to marry me. 'Cause it's only love I need, and you're the one I want. I'll always have your back. Just gotta give me one more shot, because it's only love I need, and you're the one I want. I'll always have your back. Just gotta give me one more shot. So get in the trunk. So get in the trunk. Baby, baby, please get in the trunk.
All right. We've got a cat purring awfully close to the microphone. I don't know.
Awfully close to my head. Tina.
But that's it for this week.
Yeah, that's it.
Fun talking about supermarket horror. Makes me want to see those ones we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, always fun to find movies we haven't heard of before in our pursuit of this.
Oh, and I've got to fill a spot on the wheel.
Yeah.
So, for next week, we have spun Smile, Rachel's favorite.
That's me breathing deeply and telling my nervous system everything is okay. It doesn't believe me.
So, because we spun Smile, our wheel called the Wheel of Horror, which we spin every other week to randomly decide what movie we're watching, has an empty space on it. Usually it has a list of 13 movies. Right now it's only got 12 because Smile is now queued up in our video player. So I got this other bigger wheel with lots of horror movies on it. And guess what? I'm going to spin that, and whatever movie it lands on, that's what's going to join the ranks of the other movies, which I'll list off before we close out here.
Excellent.
Just let me... All right. Here we go. Spinning the wheel. Big wheel keep on. Pieces. Whoops. I don't know how that happened.
Crazy.
There's so many movies on this.
There's
and that's
so many.
That's what we spun to fill the last hole. Let me delete this.
That leads me to question the randomness of that wheel app.
I mean, I don't know what to
I mean, how many movies are on that? That's the chances. 1 in 200?
40?
Oh, 40. Oh, I thought there was more than that. No, the big list is like our own wheel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's it going to be?
Audition.
Ooh. I don't think I've seen that movie in a really long time.
Yeah, and I think it's our first Japanese horror movie to join the wheel.
I think I saw that back in like 2007.
That'll be cool. That's one that I probably know the least on our wheel. I think I've only seen it once, but it definitely has a huge fan base.
And actually, Takashi Miike, the director, that was some of my earliest horror exposure back in the 90s, which I've talked about before. The couple I babysat for, and the dad went to like horror movie video stores and would show these crazy like J-horror movies, which now, of course, everyone has access to, but back then, not so much. That's cool. Well, who knows when we'll spin that? Could be next week, and it could be never.
Yeah, there's many movies on our wheel here, and many of them have been on the wheel since the start. So
exactly.
Those movies are Child's Play, It Follows, Weapons, A Quiet Place, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Sleepaway Camp, Pieces, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Audition, The Strangers, Carrie, 30 Days of Night, and Alien. And of course, the ever-elusive sequel, which, if spun, means we'll be watching a sequel of one of the movies we've covered previously.
Pretty exciting. Keeps things alive.
But next week, we'll be covering Smile Deeply. The movie's not called Smile Deeply.
No, it's not.
We'll be deeply covering Smile. And until then, find us on social medias. We're everywhere on social media at OMNLD Pod. We do some little videos now. And, you know, it's me doing like the TikTok dances, which everybody loves to see.
You're joking about that, but I feel like that might actually be a niche we should discuss, dear.
Yeah, well, if I can ever get enough sleep, maybe.
We'll have to see.
You can email us at omnldpod@gmail.com. And until next week, keep watching those horror movies.
Yeah, and tell one of your friends about us, would ya?
What, would ya?
Would ya? I was trying something new. I'm not sure if it worked or not.
Yeah, you should try that all the time. Get the bank. Give me my money, would ya?
If you know someone who's into horror and original music or weird married couple banter, you just send them our way.
All right.
All right. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.